We're up to the laws of the Etrog. Very important. The most details from the 4 species is the Etrog. It's keneged the sertza, the heart. Yeah, we have to make sure our heart is pure. 28. The 4 basic parts of Etrog is the pitom, is the protuberance found on top of the Etrog. It consists of a vertical portion that is connected to the Etrog. Yeah, it's the little nose, the little wooden piece sticking out the top, right? Then you have the shoshanta, the flat horizontal part that protrudes out of the pitom, right? Then you have the chotem, which is the nose, and this is the most commonly considered the part that slopes upward above the majority of the etrog. And then you have the oketz. Oketz is the stem. The stem is on the bottom where it's connected to the tree. Every etrog actually grows with the face down, and then we hold it face up. But that's the stem is where it's attached to the tree. Okay, 29. A dry etrog is invalid. Okay, 30. A grafted etrog is invalid, meaning an etrog produced from both an etrog and or a lemon or an orange or any other fruit is invalid. Invalid for the entire sukkot, not just the first day. If the only available etrog is the one that's murkav, grafted, then a bracha should not be said. You take a branch from a etrog tree and you attach it to a lemon tree to make more etrogim. It's a very big problem. You need to have a purebred etrog, and that's the biggest problem because it doesn't allow you to make the bracha. There are 3 main characteristics of an etrog that's purebred, and you could tell the difference between a mixed one and a pure one. Number 1, the outer skin of a hybrid is smooth. Yeah, so a guy says, "I like my etrog; it's beautiful, smooth." That you should know could be your etrog's kosher, but it's not a telltale sign what a pure etrog is. A pure etrog is bumpy. It's supposed to be bumpy. Number 2, the oketz of a mokav etrog is on the surface of the fruit, unlike the oketz of a kosher etrog, it's recessed, right? So the stem of an etrog is usually inside. It's like hidden. It's like curved inside of the fruit, as opposed to a lemon. It just sticks out. It's on the top layer and it sticks out. As opposed to the etrog, it's a little bit tucked inside. Number 3, the skin of the mokav etrog is thin, and the fruity portion is large. The skin of etrog is thick, and the fruity part is small. When you cut open an etrog, you're supposed to see a lot of skin, a lot of thick skin, and very small pulp. And a lemon is the opposite. A lemon is very thin skin and a lot of pulp. So the etrog, if it has a lot of pulp, not necessarily is that a sign that is a kosher etrog. Some say it's a 4th sign. There's a 4th sign. The seeds of the murkav etrog lie horizontally. When you open the grafted etrog, the seeds are horizontal, as opposed to the seeds of a kosher etrog point vertical. That's another sign they say. Number 5, however, one may not rely exclusively on these characteristics. One may only use an accepted etrog that has a clear mesorah regarding its pedigree. Chacham Avodah Yosef rules that one should only recite a bracha on either a Temani or a Moroccan etrog, because of their impressive pedigrees and their reliability. They are indeed pure etrogim. But even the Yemenite ones, right? Well, the Yemenite ones, they have the signs. The seeds stand upright. It doesn't contain so much pulp. It may grow to be very large. It has subtle bumps, and the pitam falls off at early stages of development. So the only weird thing about it is it doesn't have pitam usually. And another weird thing about it, sometimes it's very smooth. Sometimes it doesn't have bumps. That's the only knock on it, right? And the Moroccan one also has a little bit of knocks. It has bumps. It has pitam. However, it doesn't contain seeds, and it has a lot of pulp. So that's a little bit of a knock on it. But at the end of the day, there's a very, very strong, heavy tradition to use these 2. And therefore, Ovadia says these are the 2 best to get.
Which one has a lot of pulp?
The Moroccan one.
But even so, he's saying that's the best.
Yes. Okay, chazazit. Now we're going to start talking about what makes the etrog pasul. Okay, you see these guys, they take the etrogim. Hey, you see this black dot? What is this? What is it about? Right? So let's learn about that. A chazazit is a scab-like protuberance on the skin of an etrog that generally indicates disease. If it is rarely found on etrogim today. Chazazit is rarely found. To find a whole big thick scab on etrog is very hard to find. The chazazit essentially invalidates the etrog if there's a chazazit on the chotem, the nose, the top part of the etrog. And if there's 2-3 marks of a chazazit on the remainder of the etrog, even on the bottom, that's a problem. If there's 2 or 3 on the bottom. If there's 1 chazazit on the etrog, it's still kosher unless it covers majority of the etrog. Either black or white color on the etrog, it validates it. Therefore, a etrog with a black or white spot is regarded as similar to etrog with a chazazit. If it has only 1 spot, the spot only disqualifies the etrog if most of the etrog is that color or if it's on the chotem. Okay, you hear this? So the black dot is a problem if it's on the nose, the top part. And if it's on the bottom part, 1 is not a problem. 2 or 3 is already a problem. So therefore, how do you hold your etrog? You hold your etrog at reading book distance, and you don't use a magnifying glass. You don't use a loop. You just look at it. You look at the nose to make sure there's no black dots. Sometimes you'll have leaf marks. Leaf marks is where it was growing on the tree, and it got damaged slightly. The skin layer got damaged by a leaf hitting it, therefore it developed a little bit of a scab. That's 100% kosher. Leaf marks are not a problem. They're usually light tan brown. But if you have a dark black spot, literally a black spot is not dirt. Sometimes it's dirt. Sometimes it's pesticide. That's also a separate problem, and it's not a problem actually. Halachically, dirt and pesticide is not a problem. But when the skin developed a black dot, so over there, if it's on the nose, it's a problem, and you have to see it like this. If you have something that you don't know if it's dirt, you don't know if it's a leaf mark, so you can use a loop to verify. But you're supposed to be looking like this in good light from this distance. And what happens when you have a black dot? If it's on the top, it's a problem. If it's on the bottom, 2 or 3 is a problem. Not 1 is not a problem. Obviously, it loses its beauty. It's going to command and demand a lower price because of a lack of beauty, but it's 100% kasher. So a person has to know this is the proper way to look for etrogim. Okay, 35. Since etrogim are often grown in loose sandy soil, the wind deposits a gray-white dust on the etrogim as it blows. A wet cloth or sponge should be able to remove such particles. One should not use a toothpick or other abrasive objects to remove spots of dirt and dust. 36. Reddish brown or brown spots are often caused by being bumped around and bruised or through regular usage on Sukkot. Such a mark does not disqualify etrog, but it does detract from its quality. Therefore, it's preferable not to use such an etrog on the first day of Sukkot. A dark green etrog is invalid because it is a sign that it did not ripen yet. However, etrogim that eventually turn yellow off the tree are kasher even if they are green on Sukkot. It's preferable not to purchase an etrog unless it had begun turning yellow. You hear this? It's preferable to buy one that has begun turning yellow. According to the Mekubalim, it's more praiseworthy to acquire an etrog that is still green, but it has to be starting to turn yellow. If it's grass green, it's not good. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen. Amen.